What's up, Doug with Dean in the garage. Today we're going to be putting this winch on this Grand Cherokee with the use of this piece of metal I had left over from my workbench. I'm hoping to build a semi-hidden winch in the bumper of this WJ. All right, here's the long and short of it. I'm going to tell you. What you're looking at here is not part of my Jeep. This is a snow plow mount. What we have here is part of my Jeep. It is now anyway. I built this front mounted hitch a few years ago. I got a video if you're interested, card up in the corner. It was pretty easy to put together, very inexpensive, and it's worked super well. This thing has taken some massive hits over the years, snowplow, hits a curb, whatever. What I want to do is behind this license plate mount, which I don't intend to use anymore, I'd like to hide a winch up in here. I think there's just enough room to get that done. I'm gonna have to modify the subframe just a bit, but I'm not actually worried about the bit of subframe in between these 2 points because this is doing all the work to hold that stuff together. So the first thing I'm gonna have to do is pop this bumper off so we can get access to that. There we go. We have access to our space right here. Now my intention is to notch this out, and again, this hitch is adding so much strength right there. I'm not compromising the unibody there. And then we're going to take this piece of metal, and we're essentially going to mount it like this. I'm going to notch it out for this hitch piece, and then we're going to weld it, burn it in there, and that'll be where we mount the hitch mounting plate. I might even weld that on as well. And if my calculations are correct, this is going to sit out like this, your bumper is going to be right here, and your fair lead is going to be the only thing you're going to see poking out the front. So it's time to get to work. I think we're going to jimmy jam this bad boy off so that we can do all of it over on the bench, much more comfortable. We got to get this piece cut down, and we got to get Hobart God of Lightning out of storage. There's lots to do. Let's get to her. Alrighty, here is the hitch. Oh, I'm not going to spend a ton of time on the construction of this thing because, like I said, there's a video on it. I am amazed at how well this thing's held up. I don't think we need this full piece. Probably only need about 8 inches of it. Yeah, honestly, we only need a couple inches more than the width of this thing. So I'll probably cut it right about there. And then we're gonna notch it so that it sits down flush. So let's take some measurements and figure out what that's going to look like. Take of ease, we might as well make this 9 inches on the dot, right? And then we want the halfway point on that. Boy, that don't look straight. Yeah, maybe. So we want to be at 4.5 on this thing. And that's going to give us our center line to line up against this thing. I want to do all the drawing, all the arts and crafts now, so once I get in cut mode, I can just cut. Alright. Looks like, yeah, it's about centered, right? We'll eyeball it. Good enough for government work. And we're going to need a cut here, and a cut here, and it's got to come up. Let's try to do this scientific like. It's got to come up to, come on now, here, right here. So we're gonna have Hobart God of Lightning on our side. So if we need a couple extra spools of hot snot to get her to fit, fill that gap. All right, let's pull out the spinning wheel of death. We're gonna lob off this side, try to notch this side out, and contact. Ta-da! How do I grab this without one of them falling? There we go. Alright. Put this one aside for, I don't know, maybe a winch bumper for the Hyundai Sonata we're getting. And let's dig into this mortar forker. This fancy little fornicator. There we go. I'm just going to cut up, and then I'll try to zing it. We're just going to zing it. No big deal. Contact. I don't know what y'all can see, but I'm pretty happy with our progress. I think we're going to flip her to the back there and see if we can't break on through to the other side. Jim Morrison in the garage tonight. Alright, where's my dang old hammer? I think we got this guy. Beautiful. I should basically have my own fabrication shop. That's what this is telling me. Alright, see how that fits on the old front hitch there. I just realized something. I made a horrible mistake. When I measured this, wow, talk about measure twice, cut once, right? I totally hooped that, but it is what it is. I meant to cut down here so that I had this bit to weld to. You know what I'll probably do? I'll take this piece that's way too hot to be holding and just weld it on the old front bits there. No one's ever got to know that I ever made a mistake. Don't tell anyone. All right, that'll be, ouch. That'll be our, those will be our marching orders. I'm gonna pull out Hobart God of Lightning. We're gonna start tacking it back there to see how she looks on the Jeep and where everything actually sits. All right, friends. So here's what we've done. We got old Hobart God of Lightning to zing some tacks in there real good. We gave it an old tap 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 routine to get it straight. I think we're in good shape. We're gonna take some fasteners. We're gonna go over to the heap. See how she lines up. Might even slink the bumper on just to see what we're looking at. So let's see. If we cut from this line to this line, we'd be in pretty good shape. What do you think about that? You know what? I say screw it. I say we just do it. We're gonna cut up to here. Just make sure there's what's behind there. So the pinch welds are right here, so we honestly have to go like here. Yeah, to stay above the pinch welds. And then down. And probably go in. Yeah, there's a natural spot to go right there. I don't think there's anything up in there. I say we just do it. Again, I know people, anytime I've ever cut a unibody, people give me all types of noise. But this makes this whole section superfluous. It's not necessary. We could jimmy jam the whole thing out. We're not going to though. We're going to leave the pinch welds up there. Good, let's just do it. Don't overthink it. When it comes to chopping into your unibody, I say you just give it the minimal amount of time thought about, and then you dive right in. Ta-da! Look at that. It was quite a gamble because I wasn't 100% sure there was nothing back there. I was just mostly sure. Come on, what'd I miss? Give it back. Oh my. That's a relatively clean cut. I wouldn't be completely and utterly embarrassed. All right, I'm gonna set the doohickey back up in here and see how far down the road that gets us. That's sitting like that. I think I'd want it about there. This comes and can it? Ow. Oh, look at that. So we can go all the way back to there with it. Wow, I just couldn't be happier with that. Who, buddy buck, I will tell you what, I am absolutely tickled right now. Now that bumper's clearly not on, but it's within about a 1/4 inch. That's where it's gonna be. Which means by cutting out that bit of subframe, we have made a delightfully hidden hitch for this thing. We are gonna have to cut out, at least, we might even have to go out a little further to clear the main body of the winch, because this still has to get sucked in a bit, but fair lead's gonna be hanging out right there. Oh, she's gonna look good. So let's pull this apart again, get old Hobart God of Lightning cooking, burn that hitch all together. Then we still got to drill some holes. We got to decide if we're going to paint it. There's work to do. Enough jaw work. Time to get some paw work. Alrighty, as there's beauty and function, we're going to slam this guy right there. It actually fits in just a treat. Kind of locks itself in. If means you give it a little bit of the tappity tap tap. I did before anyway, before I started sanding on it. And that's going to hold this whole thing in. I'm not worried about that hole, I guess. I say we dig in. I gotta do a good job on this part because this is what everybody's gonna see. I'll probably go in there and then in there to keep it from warping and getting wonky. I don't know. Better tack it down here too. Matter of fact, maybe I'll do this first. That is not looking good at all because I can't see what I'm doing. Gotta get a better angle on the dangle. I mean, she ain't pretty, but that's burned in there, I'll tell you that much. Now, I kind of want to do another pass down here where the rubber really meets the road, but I don't want to glom it up either. Maybe I'll just sneak some nice big tacks in these corners and call it a day. Certainly one way to do it. Whoo, buddy, I tell you what. That's good enough for gunman work, eh? Let's swap around to the back here. Oh yeah, but that's burned in there, I tell you what. Ain't going nowhere. I may actually put that weld on social media. That's gorgeous right there. So that's the kind of weld you brag about. Cool buddy buck, I'll tell you what, she may not be the prettiest set of welds around. But I think she's gonna hold. Here's what I'm gonna do. It's getting late and I have work in the morning. I'm gonna leave this here for the night. We'll come back tomorrow and probably be drilling and all types of mean, nasty, ugly things. Alright friends, we are back. It is the next day. I did have to drive this Jeep without its teeth into work today, but that's no big deal. I'm gonna get this thing figured out. We're gonna get our hitch basically where it belongs, and that's lined up pretty good. Now let's see, how far back does this need to go so that the old windy boy will fit. Come here. Alright, looks like now this is difficult because I'm kind of guesstimating where the mounting holes go. Okay. Granted, not even remotely in the middle. Dang, that's gonna look good right there too, right? Now the only pain in the butt is going to be reaching my hand under the bumper for when I have to switch it, but I'm willing to deal with that. Most of the time, this winch is just going to be a passenger. Okay, I found my silver marker, so we're going to do the next best thing. This thing is sticking out just shy of 2 inches. Just shy of 2 inches. And just so that we have some sort of locating mark, we'll score that. Let's go back to the bench, drill some holes. And it's almost time for grinder and paint. Make me the welder I ain't. Alrighty friends, I think we've got this thing on the money. Maybe just a little bit back on that side. Yeah, a little bit more. And the idea here will be, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 holes jimmy jammed right through the winch plate and the hitch plate, so that this will be extremely well attached. Let's drill some holes, and then we can do almost a final fitment. I'm so excited. Alright, here we go. We pulled out the Black & Decker from the 1980s, the drill that just won't die. We've got the completely wrong cutting oil, just some regular old 3-in-1 for your bike chain, which is probably going to burn off almost immediately, but c'est la vie, that's what we had. It's better than Norfin, right? Let's see how we do. There we go. That's one. Got some proof of concept, if nothing else. And now we can put a bolt through that. Yeah, here's that crappy mainland communism. HDW 88. If that means anything, I don't have a clue what it is. At least it fits. If it fits, it ships. Alright, that bolt's holding that down. Let's get the rest of these drilled and then I'll bring you guys back in. Give me my glasses. Who buddy buck, I'll tell you what, that's what she's going to look like. The winch is all bolted in there. There's still a few more little fitment things to iron out, but I'm actually pretty darn happy with it. The only thing I wish I could have changed, and I knew there was going to be something wrong with how I did it. If I'd known exactly how it was going to fit and how far back, I would have liked to have cut more of a profile out of the unibody, but nobody's ever going to see that. Let's see what it looks like with the bumper on. Alright, so here's what I'm thinking. I think we're going to have to trim from this line down the whole length of the winch. And then I think we're going to have to just trim like this for the body of the winch. So what I'm going to try first is cutting from here to... I'm actually going to cut a little extra to make it easier on myself when I have to switch to freewheeling. I'm going to cut that bit out. Let's see how far that gets us. Alright friends, that didn't come out teabag. I may say so myself. See if we can finagle this bad boy back on. Oh, and see where that leaves us winch-wise. Oh, hot dang. That fits it up real nice. Alright, now one bummer is right here. This is the post. I'm going to have to cut for that. There's no way around it. Because the electricity's got to get there. I think I probably don't have to cut more right here. Probably. Don't have to, but I'm gonna. Fair lead's gonna be sitting right there like that. So yeah, I mean the winch wire is gonna be popping down there. In theory, we could leave this, but I'm not going to. I want to be able to see all of the spool. So I think what we'll do, we're gonna cut here. And we're gonna cut here. I actually don't look that bad as far as government work is concerned. Cutting plastic with a cut-off wheel is kind of like digging a flower garden with an excavator. That's a good look right there. I tell you what, putting as little time, energy, and effort into prepping is really paying off these days. Now, That keeps the winch somewhat out of the elements. I mean, it's front and center for all the road salt and crap in the winter, but that just is what it is. If I didn't mention to you guys, the reason I went with this winch is over at the Hazard Fraud there, they had it on the never been used and only dropped twice rack for $111. This is their upgraded model, the XRG, NRG, PCP, I don't know. But it's supposed to be better than the old style Badlands winches, of which Eric and I have burned through a few. Alright, I do got to do something for this post. I hate that it's going to stick out the front like that, but there's just no way around it. Probably do this. That might even be a bit much. I could probably get away with that. How am I going to cut that? It's a good question. How am I going to cut it? I don't know. Is that even in a shot for you? Alright, that's a problem. Probably going to deal with another day. I'm going to pull all this apart because I feel confident. I mean, if I wasn't going to paint it, I mean, we could be done right now. Slap the old fair lead on the front and go to town, start winching people out of the ditch. But we're going to paint it because rust. I'll tear it all apart. I'll bring you guys in probably when it's time to paint. Because you don't want to watch me run a flap wheel for 45 minutes, right? No, I didn't think so. Alright friends, I did as little prep as I thought I could possibly get away with. Sprayed it down with some carbon choke cleaner, a little spritz of the good stuff. I thought I had Rusty Metals primer. I do not, so we're going to use some regular old Rust-Oleum flat red. It's good enough for Granddad, it's good enough for us today. And then this is my personal favorite paint for stuff like this. Get it over at the old Tractor Supply there, Farm and Implement. I find it lasts the best. That's what went on this thing the first time, but if I'm not mistaken, I painted it while it was on the Jeep, which is why like the back has no paint on it. We're gonna correct that this time. We're gonna blast over it with the primer, making sure to get the welds. That's really all I care about, are the welds. I'm choosing to leave this hole here because I'm hoping I can hook the hook for the winch down there. So if that turns out to not be the case, I'm probably gonna turn around and get rid of that. I'll weld over it. Anyway, without further ado, I'm losing late here. Let's get this thing figured out. How do I not accidentally paint the wife's Durango? Alright friends, this is what I have settled on, this very precarious topsy-turvy setup. We're losing light, so we're going to blast it out here, and then when it gets dark, we'll take it inside to dry all night. Primer up. Oh yeah, that wind is blowing right into the Durango, isn't it? Oh, we'll deal with that at a later date. Alright. Calling that good enough for government work. Come back in a half hour and we'll hit it with the black. And I don't know, probably take a week and a half to dry, but so be it. Wow, the primer really brings out the holes in the welds. Nailed it. Alrighty, we took a half hour. We went and got the executive producer some ice cream. Say hi, Tess.
Hi.
We're going to paint this quick, and we're going to go inside. What are we going to do? We're going to eat ice cream and watch Coco, right? Yeah, that's what I thought. Yoosh. Alright. Baby, go stand over by the Jeep. Let's get some black on this bad boy.
The black on the black guy is not very touchy.
Exactly what the kid said.
Okay.
Oh no, we got a clogged sprayer.
Oh no.
Alright, take two, hold on. Alright, we have a sprayer from a can of brake clean. I'm sure that's fine.
No, we're good.
Stand by the Jeep, baby. I don't want to accidentally paint you. Oh yeah, look at that. The brake clean sprayer makes it way quicker.
Daddy.
That's all I had. Yeah, baby?
Paint this side.
No, go stand over by the Jeep. I don't want to get paint on you.
Daddy's home. Daddy will help you.
No, you can't help me with this one, baby. That's okay. Careful, kid. Kid's got more energy than sense. The welds are protected. That's all that matters.
Daddy, waffle.
What happened?
That's waffle.
All right, it's beautiful. Thank you. I don't know if it is. My hand is beautiful. Look, don't touch. I know. I got black paint all over my hand, right? Should we go inside and watch Coco?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. Well, shoot, Buck. I will tell you what. What a happy little mistake putting that that good stuff top on here was. Yeah, there may be some drips and runs, though actually I don't really see any right now, but we got a nice hard coating on here. This tractor and implement stuff is 10 out of 10 for painting crap like this. I've also found that it goes over, almost knocked the whole thing on the floor. It goes over rust pretty well, so this is the third and final day. I'm ready to be done with this project. Let's get that winch put on there, get all the other goodies from this box. Let's see what else we got. Got controllers and buttons and solenoids and breakers. That beefy breaker. I'm going to get the winch mounted up and probably mount it onto the Jeep. Y'all don't really need to come with me for that. And then we'll do some wire and stuff. And then this is done. This is pretty much donezo. The only thing left, and I think I already mentioned it, if I'm not able to kind of store the hook in here, well, I got the hook right here. Let's see if it's going to work. Yeah, this may not actually work the way I was hoping. I was hoping I'd be able to loop this down. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, that's perfect. That's exactly what I want to be able to do. Yeah, good. So I was hoping that hole was going to come in handy. That's why I left it there and didn't weld a patch over it. So yeah, and then the winch will be up there and you'll just tighten it up like that. I'm just determined to throw this thing on the floor. It's got some gravity to it, I don't mind telling you. All right, let me get that mounted up. Oh, another thing I had to do, to get the back 2 winch bolts, I had to make screws. So there's that. Yeah, maybe I'll show you how I did that real quick. So take nothing to that one. We took and chalked it up in here. Then we'll take the old spinning wheel of death, give her a little slice, and as long as we use it with a washer, which we do have room to do, yeah, there's no reason why that doesn't work out. So, Ooh, buddy buck, she's all mounted up, ready to go on the heap. It's worth noting that I did come out last night and blast some, had some undercoating. Where is that crap? I just happened to have this sitting around, so I put that on there, but it was like 30 degrees last night, so I don't really know if it dried or if it just sort of froze. But either way, I figured since this is going to be exposed to the elements, the smell elements, more than it used to, I don't know, we'll give it a shot. Another big deal that I just realized. Today is the end of Romex in my Jeep. I no longer will be able to get frantic comments from crazed viewers trying to convince me that my Jeep's going to burn down tomorrow. Hasn't happened yet. Sadly, the big old coil of Romex is going out the door, wherever it is. It's under my airbox now. Anyway, I'm going to get this bolted up, and then we're going to play amateur electrician with the remaining components in that box. Alrighty friends, I've been happily plugging away, and here's where we're at right now. Bumper, well, it's not a bumper. The mount is all mounted. Winch is in place. I've got the 2 leads going to the winch. They're fished up through here. Here's our winch solenoid. We've got our ground hooked up and our power. I'm thinking, and I know you can't see too well, but I'm thinking, oh, I'm just gonna place it right here. You can see where these leads are run to. I think that's gonna be a good safe place under the airbox, away from anything moving. Basically right here, you can't really tell, but right here in front of the steering box. I'm gonna start by not bolting it down, and I'm gonna tell you why. In my experience, when you bolt them down, it's kind of, you don't really get much for your money on that one. They don't move a lot anyway because they got so many cables going to them in different directions. So the final step here will be, here are the control leads. It goes up to this splitter. One side has an input for your traditional button type guy. This is all the stuff, by the way, that I pulled out of the Jeep. No more Romex. It's a sad day, right? So it has the option for this, which I'm just going to leave loose under the hood, so that if I want to use the button, I'll pop the hood and I'll connect it. And then it has this secondary lead, which will go in the Jeep. It'll connect right there, and then I'll have this button. I haven't decided where I'm going to put it. So I just figured I'd let you know where we're at. I obviously took the airbox out for better access. I'm gonna keep doing this because there's nothing interesting about watching a monkey with a toolbox jimmy jam, you know, nuts and electrical boots on. But believe you me, pretty soon we're gonna get to testing, and I'll bring y'all in for that. Buddy Buck, I will tell you what I think. I think it just might be time to test her out. She's grounded. We've got this tucked away right in there. It's actually a really good spot for it because it's going to be out of the elements. Mostly it's going to be away from anything hot or moving, so I'm actually really happy with that. All our lines are run. mostly away from anything that's going to try to take a big bite out of them. We got power, so why don't we hook up this little button here and see if she doesn't chooch a little bit. Which way does that go? What in the fancy... Not teabag. What do you say? Now the only problem is that out is in and in is out, even though I followed the color. Whatever, who cares? I'm pretty happy with that. Can we tuck our... this guy? How did I do that before? Can we tuck that in there and then tighten it up? Oh, that is awesome. That is good stuff right there, bud. I tell you what. All right, there is nothing left to it but to do it. Let me slam the airbox back in this thing. We'll get the old grill on, and maybe we can call this one and done. Not one and done. This one done. Whatever. All right, last thing we got to do, a little spritz of the good stuff here. The Super Clean should take off the 20 years of grime that was hanging out behind that license plate. And maybe even more. Let's see. I think that's one of the reasons it was looking so weird when it was on there yesterday. Oh yeah, that's perfect. Was because there was that weird, like, different colored patch. Oh, mint! I mentioned before, I switched from simple green to super clean recently, and I'll never go back. This stuff is 10 out of 10. A little bit of xylene to get the errant Sharpie marks off. I don't think this is the ideal stuff to use, but I do think it's going to work. Yeah, let's take them off. That's another thing that was making it look weird. You could see like the outline of... Perfect. I mean, for a monkey with a toolbox who was really just going for form over function, or function over form, I don't know. She's not teabag is what I'm getting at. Let's see how she looks on the heap. Alrighty, friends, final thoughts here. First thing you're probably noticing, I did decide to put the license plate back on the front. There are a few reasons. One, I'm not sure that particular Rebellion was worth risking getting pulled over all the time. Two, it's actually going to protect the winch some from stuff. So I've got a nice access hole there that can be got to with two 10mm. If I need to get to the winch a bit, I can still very easily come over here and move this to freewheel it. But it's going to be protected, so when I'm driving down the road, I mean, this thing's not going to get used often. It's going to get used in the winter, and then in the in the summer, it's going to get used for pulling shrubs out and probably God knows what else. Haven't run the button inside the cab. Y'all don't need to see me do that. I'm just going to leave this hanging out here because if I need the switch, it's because I'm using the winch and I want to be able to operate it from outside the Jeep. So this gives me some nice mobility. I can then pull this out, close the hood, and I probably have some good room to be wherever I need to be, whether it's in front of the Jeep with the winch or whatever else. I think that's a pretty good setup for what I'm using it for. Again, I know it's only a 5,000-pound winch. I'm not using this for pulling myself up over rock obstacles at the off-road park. That's not what this Jeep does. It's going to do a little bit of work. And I don't know, I think it kind of looks cool. Let's see what she looks like with the hood closed. I said closed, damn it. I don't know, man. I think it's just enough. It's just enough, right? I know you can't see very well in here. I think it's just enough, right? Leave me a comment down there in the squawk boxes. Let me know what you think about my hitch bumper and my process. Maybe don't let me know what you think about my process. I know I'm a chaotic person. I'm like a whirlwind when I get in here. But hey, at the end of the day, if it works, it works. So if you like the video, that's just common sense. Subscribe to the channel. Maybe go watch another one of our videos. Like if you like this one, you're probably gonna like other videos we did, right? That makes sense to me. Anyway, as always, thanks for watching. See you next time. I am going to get a very large soy.